Bleacher Report recently ran an article which stated 100 players to watch in 2016, and ain't nobody got time for that. 100 players? No way am I going through that list and breaking down 100 players to watch in 2016. Instead, we're going to pick the top 10, and I must give you a little criteria ahead of time. This is not like up-and-coming players we want to look at, or like, oh, these are youthful players, maybe he's going to make his mark on the scene in 2016. No, this is players that you just want to watch, somewhat because they're going to make some movement on the scene, but also because they're going to make big decisions in their career. Moves are going to happen. Maybe they take a step down. Maybe they take a step up. Maybe they come in clutch for their team. So let's take a look at the list before we comment. So this is a 10. This, according to the list, this is a top 10. So Paulo Dybala of Juventus, John Stones, Mauro Icardi, Jamie Vardy, Romelu Lukaku, Mahrez, Ibrahimovic, Benzema, Pogba, and Neymar. So first of all, the guy's clearly a Premier League fan, because there's no way on hell that I'm considering three. I'm a big fan of Premier League. Come on, everyone knows this. 3 out of those players straight away, Premier League players, has shown slight allegiance towards them when, yes, it is one of the most entertaining leagues in the world, but I just don't see... If you're looking at players that are going to make a big impact in 2016 and you don't have Rakitic on that list, you don't have Isco, who's suddenly going to be given a more detailed role at Real Madrid, you don't have Jordan Morris of Stanford, who is not even a professional yet, but he's scored a goal for the US men's national team. Explain that.
You don't have Lord Bentner.
You don't have Lord Bentner. He might be making a move back to the Premier League. I love how when you emphasize a point,
Bentner.
you just like, back.
Back.
But let's break it down. So first of all, Dybala for Juventus has made a great mark so far this season. I agree with this pick because 2016 is going to be a big year for him, trying to fill the void that Tevez left at Juventus. It's going to be huge to see if he can perform. John Stones. Jason, your thoughts on John Stones? I know you've heard a lot about Stones. And your thoughts are, from a defensive standpoint, everybody wants him. Man United
I
wants him,
know.
Chelsea.
Everybody from a defensive standpoint wants John Stones. I've watched John Stones. I was literally just watching John Stones against Manchester City. And it's just, and this is nothing against him. He's not exciting to watch. Like, and there are defenders out there that are. I don't want to sell John Stones short. I feel like I've heard John Stones linked to insert any Premier League club and or championship level club, anything below the championship. How far do we go down the line here? There's like 20. There's like 20 leagues, right? He's linked to a back four for every single club always. Stay at Everton. They play a defensive game. I think it's fine. I don't have any. There doesn't seem like there's any reason for them to really get rid of him, and that's just like I don't think you're gonna get enough money to make a better signing than he already is.
That's a great point, the last point you made there, because I think Everton, defensive-minded team, John Stones is a star defender. The only thing is you can never mask a player's aspirations in world football. If the player wants to go, he's going to go.
Yeah,
he's looking to try and move to a bigger team, wants to play Champions League football. Everton are very stable at the back, and he is one of the main reasons to do that. But Manchester United come calling with a big 32, 40 million bid. He's going to pay you, he's going to up your wages, probably double it by the week. Whether or not your career thrives from there, you're still taking that into consideration no matter what you say. But sticking with the Premier League, Icardi's a great mention in there at Inter Milan. A lot of teams are going to touch base with him, trying to bring him in. And he's going to be a big player to see how he can further his career. But I wanted to touch on Vardy, Lukaku and Mahrez, who are 7th, 6th and 5th, respectively. I completely agree with James Vardy and Mahrez being in there. Lukaku, I think, has already made his mark. 2016 will be a year for him if he moves to Man United. That's another move that people are going to...
Say Mahrez?
No, Lukaku.
Oh, sorry, Lukaku.
But Vardy and Mahrez in there, for me, I mean, we know what they're doing so far. And already, despite him being lightning fast, he's slowed down a little bit, as you mentioned as well. Vardy, they haven't been hitting those heights that they had at the start of the season. That was expected from me. I didn't think that they can continue along that pace. But 2016, in terms of really pushing them forward as serious contenders for both world-class Premier League players, for contenders to maybe make that big money move for any bigger teams, you don't get a bigger year than 2016 for those two guys. This is make or break for them the second half of the season to see who takes them.
Yeah, especially if Leicester makes a run to finish off and win the Premier League title.
To see it.
It would be great. And Conte also. For Leicester, I know he's not like one of the guys that's like, oh, players to watch. He's been as beneficial to that team as Vardy and Mahrez and Drinkwater, favorite name in all the Premier League.
What a name. But so the reason why I bring this up is because I'm not... my first comment about the Premier League it's just counterintuitive to this argument, because if you look through the full 100 list, and I do like this writer, I think his name's Sam Tiggy. I like him as a writer at Bleacher Report. There's some players in there that are just coming on the scene, that have got big moves to make, and then he comes down to the top 10, and if he's talking about players such as Neymar, Paul Pogba, and Benzema as 1, 2, and 3, then where is Isco, Douglas Costa, Rakitic, guys like that? Like I've even got Kingsley Coman in there, who's on loan from Juventus to Bayern Munich, and if you're starting in the wide left position at Bayern Munich, you better believe you've got a big year ahead of you there to showcase this fella.
How about Aubameyang?
Aubameyang, another one, because he might be making another big money move, and many teams are circling the bit. But if you're taking this perspective and looking at whether or not these players are going to make a big move for their career, he's got Ibrahimovic in there.
Yeah, that was one. That's where I was going to comment. I was confused as to why Ibrahimovic is there. Like, I get it. He's always a player to watch because he's like awesome. He's captivating.
You can't miss him.
And you literally can't. And he's also great for his media relations, whatever you want to call it, is top notch. It's hilarious all the time. But he's not somebody to watch in 2016. He was someone to watch in 2010.
Absolutely. I agree with that, but I guess in the context, it's not just about their playing ability, it's about what moves they're going to make. Zlatan coming to, I would say, the end of his career at PSG. I don't see him staying there much longer. So I guess if looking at the criteria of his breakdown, why Ibrahimovic was there, it was whether or not he's going to move to the MLS, whether or not he's going to join Beckham, whether or not, and that is something you want to watch and look out for. But it's like in this list of top 10s, like Benzema is probably the closest one to him, because Benzema at this point will need to make another move for his career, I believe, where he wants to stay at Real Madrid and continue to be one of their prominent strikers. Again, I don't see why he would want to move. He's their number 9. He's their go-to. Yes, Ronaldo scores a lot of goals, but Benzema enjoys his time at Real Madrid and scores a lot of goals. I, for instance, would put someone like Isco in place of that top 5. Isco has been chomping at the bit for Real Madrid. He's been tipped to be the new Iniesta. Zidane comes in straight away, gives him a new lease of life, a new boost of confidence. He says in a press conference, Isco's the man I'm looking at. I want to see a lot of focus on Isco because he's not been played in position, sometimes pushed out wide by Benitez. He's a playmaker that we need in this Real Madrid team. How much bigger incentive can you get to go and just be a badass in 2016 than when one of the best midfielders ever says he's got faith in you?
Yeah, man, it's a confidence boost. And it's also probably what Rafa Benitez was missing out on for his entire time at Real Madrid, all 18 months. But regardless, yeah, Isco should be on the list. Zlatan shouldn't. Neymar's obviously on the list because he's the one that's being tipped of all these guys to being the Ballon d'Or winner once Messi and Ronaldo are done having their little pissing contest.
They're big pissing contests.
Speaking of piss, we're breaking the table.
How bad?
The desk, I should say. And why isn't, we already talked about it. You can check out the clip if you'd like, but Balotelli's peeing on shoes. Speaking of pissing contests, he should always be on the players to watch list.
So we put up the list there, and Paul Pogba was in at number 2. Pogba is going to make a big transfer. We already know this. He said he's going to move at the end of the year. It's whether or not he moves to the Premier League. I would love to see him move. Be interesting to see whether or not he's going to go to La Liga. I'm sure there'll be many teams looking at him. So I will be watching that from a transfer standpoint. But next time, I would just like a little bit more clarity. Are we looking at top 10 players to perform? Are we looking at top 10 players who are going to be making transfers? Are we looking at top 10 players who are going to take their already fantastic career, like Neymar, to the next level? Let us know what you guys think, all in the comment section below. Neymar is at number 1. Again, we'll leave the link to the full article if you want to read that. Let me know what you think of our thoughts on this. Twitter at Francis_Maxwell, Jason Rubin 91 at TOT Sports. You need a plumber, you need a carpenter, you need an all-round DIY man. There's his number. Hit him up at 626. I'm not telling you that.
What zip code is 626?
That's Dina. See you later.